Lovely to meet
Hi,
you.
you too.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy that you're able to be a part of the road trip. This is going to be super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your writing and books?
I'm Allison L. Bitz. I hail from Nebraska. I'm a lifelong Nebraskan, so that's, I guess, a unique fact. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have two books that are out right now. The first of them is The Unstoppable Bridget Bloom, and she was actually the Nebraska Teen Book of the Year for 2024, which was exciting.
Very cool.
It's a book for musical theater lovers. It's a book I always say if you liked Legally Blonde or if you liked Glee, you would like this book.
Cool.
Um, very big personality narrator, main character.
Very
My second book is Three Things About Emmy Crawford.
cool.
The angle there, a little bit different kind of vibe, not quite so over the top of a main character, but still really driven, really ambitious. Senator's daughter in DC, trying to win national debate, falls for her rival debater, and then so does her sister. So yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
cool. That's really cool. So how did you this is kind of a love-hate question for many writers, but like how did
sure.
you get your ideas, I guess?
All over the place, honestly. It's a little different for every book. So yeah, it's a fine question. Bridget actually was at first a very loose Little Mermaid retelling,
Oh,
like
really?
really, really loose. And when I tell people, then they are able to see it. Like one of the halls is Anderson Hall. The Little Mermaid's written by Hans Christian Andersen. There's a character named Seabass, like Sebastian.
That's
She's
funny.
a redhead.
Yeah.
Is wearing a mermaid costume, or she has a mermaid costume that she takes with her to college, or to, it's not college, to boarding school, but
Okay.
it's there. It's just super, super loose, and
It's really
the
cool.
story doesn't really follow those beats anymore. Um, and then Three Things About Emmy Crawford, in its first version, like the very first draft of it I wrote in 2017, was actually kind of a Hamilton retelling with Angelica as the main character. And then again with the rewrites, it's lost really most of the connection to that. But so
Great.
sometimes I get ideas for, like, twisting a tale that many of us love and making it my own. Sometimes
Love
I
that.
pluck an idea or a concept out of a different place. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's really cool. I love that. Cool. Okay, and so with you being from Nebraska then, where do you also pull some inspiration from like the culture and the surroundings in Nebraska as well in your
Um,
writing?
More so in some of my unpublished manuscripts, honestly. I have like 8 of those. Bridget is from Nebraska, but the most of the book takes place in Chicago.
Okay.
And then I wrote Emmy to actually originate in Iowa, and then she, with her family, moves to DC. And one time asked at a book event, why Iowa, not Nebraska? And I said, well, because Emmy's a Democratic senator, and we never elect Democrat in Nebraska. So
Oh,
that's why I
yep.
chose Iowa, honestly. So it was more realistic.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
uh, the book, the manuscript I just wrote that is an agent that I might end up trying to has a lot of Nebraska influence to it.
Oh,
So
wow. Cool. That's awesome.
yeah,
Just had to ask
yeah,
that since we're on the road trip, right?
yeah, totally.
Yeah, and so in Nebraska, like in what area are you in? You don't have to say exactly, but like what
Oh, it's okay. I'm in Lincoln. It's a big place, so I
oh,
feel safe saying that. And
yeah.
I'm pretty easy to find online. So yeah, I live in Lincoln. I'm from rural Nebraska, which is this town of about, I think, about currently 550 people.
Oh.
About an hour's drive from here.
Since a lot of people, like I feel like a lot of people don't really come to the Midwest for vacation. So
Yeah.
if you were to inspire someone to come to Nebraska, where would you encourage people to go? That's really cool that you feel like it's kind of like hidden gems or unique places that would be
Yeah.
definitely really cool for Nebraska.
Yeah, we have a few. So starting kind of naturey, out west, like near Valentine, Nebraska. So we have a panhandle in Nebraska. So way out there, we have a couple of unique things. We have the sandhills, where there's only 2 places in, I think, the world that have sandhills, and we're one of them. And it's just a really interesting kind of topography, geography to see. You won't see anything like it. Then
Wow.
also out west. near Valentine is Niobrara State Park, where we have a little waterfall and we have a river you can go tubing. So that those are two places I think are worth a visit, the
Very
Sandhills and the Niobrara. Um, on my part of the state, I think the main things I would actually encourage people to do are sports. So
cool.
I need to come up with some different recommendations, but you know, Nebraskans love their football. We love our volleyball, and it's even if you're not super sporty, it might be worth checking out those events just for like the environment of it, because it's like it's very electric to be with our fans, and we're really really friendly fans. So honestly, if anybody has a chance to go to basketball or football or volleyball, I would recommend it. It's pretty fun.
Awesome. Very cool. And so when it comes to, since road trip theme and everything, your main characters, if from the book that we're spotlighting, if they were to go on a road trip, where would they go and what kind of snacks or treats would they bring with them?
So I think we decided to spotlight Emmy. Um, let's see, where would Emmy go? Honestly, she's a sweet, she's a heart, she's like really ambitious, but she's in her core, I think she's very sweet. And I think she might actually road trip back from DC to Iowa to see her grandparents, who she really misses. Um, for food, she has Crohn's disease, so she would choose a bunch of like gut friendly,
Oh, yeah.
probably easy to digest carbs and like maybe some chips or some crackers or some you know, just things that are easy for most people to digest.
Right.
Uh things that I have Crohn's disease too, so maybe things that I would choose.
Oh,
Uh protein like beef jerky and stuff like that's usually fairly easy. Um and Emmy has a little bit of a caffeine problem, so she'd probably have some coffee or double shot or something, but hopefully not too
okay.
much.
Yeah. That's great. So I love that you did like put the Crohn's disease into the book and everything. So can you tell us
Hmm.
a little more about that and everything?
Yes, definitely. You know, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 22, which is a little older than Emmy is. I wrote Emmy to have gotten diagnosed when she was, I think, 16,
Okay.
and she's 18 in the book. And the first draft of this book, the main character did not have it, but then I started actually working with an editor who also has an irritable bowel disorder like me, and so I was like, well, this I want to do this book with this editor because
Yeah.
she'll get it. And so we changed the character to reflect that that is one of her challenges, and definitely wanted to embrace that you can have a disability like that and it's not like your whole personality, it's not like your whole story, but it can be part of your story, and you can still have a lot of ambition, and you need to like in Emmy's case, and has been the case with me, like learn how to take care of yourself and not neglect yourself even though you are ambitious.
Hmm.
And so I kind of smashed what for me has taken like 15 to 20 years to work through in my life into, you know, Emmy's short, like kind of 6 month story.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting and kind of therapeutic for me to do that.
Yeah. No, I bet. That's awesome. And I really love that you put that in there because like, many people have that and we don't really see that, People don't see
Hmm.
that in books and everything. So that's really cool. So because then other people who have that can be like reading it and be like, "Oh my gosh, yes."
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, I mean, there are a lot of people, including a lot of teens with Crohn's disease, and I'd read some characters who had like IBS,
Mhm.
and there is a character, chronically Dolores. I think she has like I can't remember, like a urinary
Okay.
incontinence. I can't remember what it's called.
Yep.
So there's other books that are happening, but I'd never read one with like a Crohn's disease main character
So are
for
you
YA.
working on anything new right now that you can tell us about?
I have been working on a new thing. I am probably not going to go into it's I want to keep the premise a little bit secret right now, but it does
Right.
involve sisters who are kind of caught in time. Um,
Fun.
and so there's a time loop, there's afterlife, there's
Yep.
sisters trying to one sister can remember everything and the other can't remember anything. So
Wow.
um Yeah, and then all of a sudden a boy that they've never seen before who's going to mean a lot. So it's
Mm.
romance forward, but it's also got a big sister theme, kind of like Emmy
Cool.
does.
Okay, and then so when you're coming up with story ideas, does the character come first or the plot come first? And why do you think that is?
Okay, so I just figured this out about myself recently because I've written a lot of manuscripts, but um, I never could answer that question. I would say, it seems like it's kind of all over the place, but I think I am concept first is what it
Okay.
is like what if like so for Bridget, it was like, what if I was gonna write kind of a loose Little Mermaid retelling in a contemporary way? Like, what would that look like? And then I started to get ideas for, okay, well, her character might be kind of like this, and she would go off to a different place, maybe in search of her prince, but really it ends up to be this other thing, you know? Um, and with, oh, I'm trying to think a story that I have that's in the drawer right now was like, what if there was a girl who fiercely cared about her family's like farmland and that one is a very Nebraska story I wrote. But one of the big oil pipelines is slated to go through that farmland and essentially like ruin it. And
Huh?
she falls for the foreman of the guy running the oil pipeline
Oh, wow.
situation. So that
Yeah.
so that was something that came to me concept first. So I think it's almost always concept first, and then I start to think of how the characters would work in that concept.
Okay, that's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
And then what does a day in the life of writer Allison look like?
Well, every day of my life is different because I do have a day job. I'm a licensed psychologist.
Wow,
So,
cool.
yeah, so that takes up like a bulk of my work hours, but I do make sure to like hold time for writing basically. So I write on Mondays and then on Tuesday mornings, Thursday afternoons, and then often weekend mornings. And I when I sit down to write, it helps if I have coffee.
Hmm.
I have to be a little bit fed or my
Yep.
brain doesn't work. And then usually what I'm doing was when I'm in the midst of a draft, I reread whatever I wrote the night or the session before to kind of get my brain back into the story and make little corrections here and there. And then I launch into my new next scene, which usually I've already been like working on in my head. And then I write as much as I can for that period and then put it away and then go back and do it all again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love that. And that's cool that you're a psychologist, you said.
Yeah.
And so do you find that you end up bringing any of that into your stories too? Like,
Um, yeah, I mean, I've never written about any specific, I think it would be pretty unethical to write about like any specific client per se,
oh, sure.
but like in terms of how I understand like people and emotion and motivations and relationships, that's stuff
Right.
that I mean mostly learned as being a
Oh,
therapist.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's very inspiring, like being able to like think about like, the mind is such a deep and massive thing. So when you're creating your characters, I'm sure that that's something like you're always thinking about.
For sure. And actually I did another podcast some months ago and I was talking about my character and I accidentally called my character my client. So I think a lot of times I'm thinking about my characters as if like I'm like if they were a client, what would, make them what do they want, or what
Yeah.
would they be scared of? What would be getting in their way, And actually in the book I just sent off to my agent, there are like th full therapy scenes.
Oh,
There's
wow.
like
Cool.
one tiny therapy scene in the end of Emmy, or like mention that she does go to therapy, but in this book or manuscript I just sent off, it's like we meet the therapist, we see snippets of therapy.
Yep.
So that was pretty fun to write.
Oh, I bet it was. That's really cool. I love that. And then since we're on a road trip, if
Yeah.
you were to go on a road trip, what book would you bring with you? It's maybe a comfort read that you constantly find yourself going back to over and over again.
I would definitely take In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. I'm obsessed with that book.
Oh,
It
cool.
if for people who are listening and who have read it, they might be thinking, "What the crap? Why is this her comfort book?" Uh, because it's a big emotions kind of sad book, but I just love it so much. Like I just think Rebecca Searle is such an amazing author in terms of how she can use very sparse language to evoke big, big imageries and
Mhm.
feelings. And she has other really good books that I've liked, but I really like In 5 Years. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't
yeah.
read it yet, so I'll have to check it out.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, I think it's just the best. So
Good.
yeah.
And so where can people find you and your books?
Okay, so my books are they can both be purchased through HarperCollins. They're also on, kind of your typical Amazon. They're not in Targets, but they're on Target. Indie bookstores, bookshop. I encourage people to shop indie because it helps stimulate local economies and
Right.
just all that good stuff. And I have two local indies here that I work a lot with. So if anybody who happens to be going through Nebraska is listening, I would recommend Francie and Finch in downtown Lincoln. I would also recommend Chapters, Books, and Gifts in
Mm,
Seward, and they have my books.
cool.
I think they have my signed books too, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And me, let's see, I'm on Facebook, but I keep a pretty low profile on Facebook. It's better to follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Threads, and I
Cool.
do have a defunct TikTok that I post to like once every 6 months. So
Yeah, I absolutely loved chatting with you today, Allison, and would love to chat with you again in the future.
awesome. Thank you so much, Devin.
Ah, most definitely. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for riding shotgun on the Romance Reading Road Trip. I'm so excited for you to be joining this journey with us. Be sure to go down to the video description below and sign up for the passport. You're not going to want to miss out on it.